Hi everyone, welcome to the Unity Engine Roadmap. I'm Laurent Guibert. I lead the team of product managers at Unity, and I'm excited to be with you again at GDC to talk about what we can do to help you create amazing games. Before we get started, note that this presentation contains future plans. Please do not make purchasing decisions based on future plans because they can change at any time. Unity's roadmap is all about you. The information we're going to share isn't just about us telling you where we're headed. It's about starting a conversation. We want to make sure the investment we are doing truly aligns with what you need. So as we go through the content, we encourage you to jump in Unity's discussion so you can react, share your thoughts, ask questions, and let us know what resonates or what you'd like to see more of. We'd like to start by taking a moment to talk about who we are, and more importantly, why we show up to work every day. We want to help you bring your ideas to life successfully. And to do this better, we are changing Unity in important ways. Unity is the engine that allows you to reach the widest audience. This is why we're supporting the widest range of platforms and doubling down on working with our platform partners to be there on day one for your games. Unity is the engine that allows you to reach the most players with the best player experience. This means we need to keep focused on maximizing the performance you get on all of the devices you target. Unity is the flexible engine that bends to your unique ideas for the most engaging games. This makes us push back the limits of our workflows with every release. Unity supports you all the way from creation to launching your game and expanding your player community. This is why we're evolving Unity by accelerating our native support of multiplayer and live ops capabilities. We can only get there with predictable quality and stability verified in production. We are partnering more and more with you as a co-developer on many games and use this expertise as a test bed for new capabilities. Marc-André will tell you more.
Thanks, Laurent. I'm Marc-André Ferguson. I'm also a Director of Product Management at Unity. Our goal is to make the most stable and performant engine for you to build your games with. To make sure this happens and to keep ourselves accountable, we eat our own dog food. With our production verification process, we've been partnering with game studios that are operating at massive production scales. And in some cases, we've even begun acting as a co-developer on some of the games you know and love, like Phasmophobia from Kinetic Games. Over the years, we've worked with Second Dinner on Marvel Snap, and more recently with Black Salt on Dredge. Our studio productions developers also work closely with the team for Pokémon Sleep and with Lightboxer and Trip to validate readiness of new platforms like Android XR. Many of the projects that we're currently working on are still under embargo, so we can't really talk about them just yet. but we'll be happy to share the news when we can. Of course, this didn't just happen overnight. It's the result of your feedback. You told us you wanted us to put Unity to the test in real-world production environments. So we rolled up our sleeves and used our own tools to build games at scale. This helped our developers identify performance and stability improvements in ways we couldn't before. Our ultimate goal? Take everything we've learned and make the engine better. For all of you, for the entire Unity community. Through production verification, we aim to raise the level of quality we offer and that you can expect so that you may offer the best experience possible to your audience on any device. It's a collaborative process that we're really proud of because it's helping us serve you better. To everyone who's given us feedback over the years, thank you. Your input drives the work we do every single day. We released Unity 6.0 in October of last year, and it was downloaded close to 3 million times already. You might have noticed we're taking a fresh approach with Unity 6 update releases. If you're just starting a production, we're happy to confirm that you can trust 6.0 to be supported as an LTS for 2 years, or 3 if you're a Unity Enterprise or Industry subscriber. As you would expect from any other LTS, bugs fixed in updates will also be fixed in 6.0, and you can expect more LTS releases in the future. Of course, it's not just about bug fixes and performance improvements. We're rolling out a series of update releases, packed with exciting new features for you to explore with confidence. You can see an example of how you may get your hands on new goodies in the near term. And before you try to guess ship dates, let me say on the record, this is just an illustration. So speaking of update releases, Unity 6.1 is just around the corner. The beta is already live and many of you are discovering what it has to offer. If you haven't upgraded to 6.0 yet, no worries. We'll guide you through its core benefits and give you a glimpse of the powerful features coming with 6.1 in the foreseeable future. Today, we'll really focus on what our teams are working on now. And as Laurent pointed out, we want your feedback on the direction we are taking. The badges that you see here will show up on our slides. The gray boxes show features that are now available in our previous versions, like Unity 2021 and 2022. The blue boxes indicate areas of improvement in 6.0, Unity 6.1 and a version of 6 coming soon. The gold box notes a future version of Unity. As we go through sections on the roadmap, we'll talk about things in that order. What's out now in 6.0, what's coming soon in 6.1, and 6.x, and what you can expect in the future. As Laurent mentioned it earlier, only Unity gives you access to the broadest audience in gaming, since we support over 20 platforms, enabling you to connect with players no matter where they are in the world. 6.0 saw the release of mobile web support, giving you the ability to run your Unity games anywhere the web exists, including mobile browsers. Your games can run embedded in a web view inside native apps, or use our progressive web app template to make your games behave as a native app, even with its own shortcuts. Additionally, in 6.1, you now have access to web GPU support. You will now be able to leverage compute rendering techniques like compute shaders, GPU skinning, VFX graph, along with even more GPU-driven rendering techniques currently in development, so players can immerse themselves in complex scenes with stunning details. And finally, as announced at Unite last year, we have partnered with Meta to build support for their Instant Games platform. Here, users can find and play games instantly on Facebook and inside Messenger applications. With an audience of hundreds of millions of gamers, it's a fantastic new opportunity for Unity developers to participate in. You can get started on development for this platform in 6.1. We even built tools to drive your success here, like our new code stripping tool, to dramatically cut load times on your instant games, getting players engaged faster than ever before. The web has always been one of Unity's most popular platforms, and I really look forward to seeing what amazing experiences you will bring to this fast-evolving ecosystem. Web GPU really shines in Stratton Studio's fantastic Project Prismatic, which is just launched. This case study takes advantage of the unique benefits of Web GPU, with an emphasis on compute to parallelize heavy calculations on the GPU and improve both performance and fidelity. The team also used VFX Graph to render complex visual effects, which helps conserve memory by reducing the need for pre-rendered assets. In 6.0, we continue to expand and invest in simplifying your multi-platform journey with the release of build profiles in a platform browser. The reception and feedback on these was fantastic, but we're not stopping there. Coming in 6.1, you'll be able to install multiple profiles with a single click, each pre-configured with settings for different use cases. Additionally, you'll also be able to override options for more settings, like global graphics configuration and the ability to configure quality levels for each profile. We're also adding new workflow enhancements, like recommended and required packages. So let's talk about our investment in Android. With larger screens and folding phones becoming more popular, Unity is leveraging the latest Android APIs under the hood to help your games to look and feel the best across every screen. You'll now be able to subscribe and react to real-time configuration changes from C#, such as orientation, screen layout and dimensions, as well as hinge presence and angle information. With Android 15, Google introduced support for 16 kilobyte memory page sizes, and we soon expect to see handset manufacturers launching such devices in the market. According to Google's research, there are noticeable performance gains on apps and games that utilize this new memory mode of up to 10% improvement. We're excited to announce that the Unity engine is now 16 kilobyte page size ready. Not only that, but we have also added a warning system to the editor that will alert you if native packages or plugins in your project are not compiled against this new 16 kilobyte page size. We've also added this feature to Unity 2021 and 2022. The Vulkan API also introduces exciting ways to improve CPU and GPU performance on Android, providing access to modern GPU features such as native render passes, graphics jobs, and variable rate shading. Vulkan is recommended for modern Android devices, which provide sufficient driver support. To accommodate this, 6.0 introduced a new device filtering mechanism, which ensures Vulkan is utilized on devices with robust driver support. The filtering conditions can be extended in the player settings based on device data such as the GPU vendor, API, and driver versions. Device filtering is improved in 6.1 and is used to control the graphics and jobs threading mode. This allows you to benefit from Vulkan multi-threading on premium Android devices for additional CPU performance. With this improvement, Vulkan graphics jobs are also promoted as production ready for Android. Now let's talk about Android XR, Google's new operating system, bringing Android to the world of spatial computing. Google has partnered with Unity to ensure day one support for this new platform and bring the best possible experience to developers. In 6.1, we focused on delivering a familiar development experience, integrating Unity's cross-platform tools like AR Foundation and the XR Interaction Toolkit. Additionally, Android XR's OpenXR conformance means it supports the common XR extensions used across platforms today. With our comprehensive templates and a dedicated build profile, setting up your project is fast and easy so you can focus on building. You take advantage of eye-gazed foveated rendering and URP space warp for smoother, more efficient rendering. With these updates, Android XR makes it easier than ever to develop immersive, high-performance experiences. We're also bringing tons of new features to our MetaQuest development experience. 6.0 improved XR graphics performance with key optimizations such as application space warp and per-pass foveation, which can improve GPU performance by up to 45%. 6.1 introduced additional optimizations to further improve performance, Space Warp is now compatible with custom shader graphs. Multi-view regions, or MVPVV, is also observed to reduce GPU times by up to 11%. Build profiles are also available to simplify configurations for projects targeting Quest platforms. 6.1 also brings features that enhance the immersion of mixed reality experiences on Quest. These include occlusion, which enables more seamless blending of digital content in the physical world, and a feature that enables boundaryless experiences on Quest. So looking ahead, we want to help developers build even more connected mixed reality experiences. The multiplayer mixed reality template helps developers jump right into build connected experiences. Additionally, we're bringing to developers shared persistent anchors that enable users to have richer interactions with each other and for users to have more physically contextualized experiences. Unity 6.0 introduces a range of improvements to the performance and stability of DirectX 12. We've even promoted it as the default for graphics in Unity 6.1. To improve CPU performance, Unity 6.1 introduces the new split graphics job threading mode, which is supported on DX12 for Windows and Xbox, both in the editor and the player. This allows us to submit commands to the GPU much faster, especially for complex projects with many draw calls. When profiling our samples, as well as game projects, we see up to 40% reduction in CPU time. Another improvement is the introduction of DX12 PSO caching to greatly reduce rendering stutters at runtime. The new Graphics State Collection API can be used to perform PSO tracing in warm-up. We recommend you use this to create and cache any required PSOs, ideally during scene loading and level transitions. With 6.1, we can now benefit from API-level PSO caching for DX12. This can effectively minimize rendering stutters and reduce the maximum frame time by up to 75%. 6.1 also introduces many improvements to ray tracing functionality and performance. Solid angle culling can be used to avoid processing instances that are too small or too distant, improving CPU performance by up to 60%. Various optimizations to memory usage were introduced, such as BLAS compaction and a new memory allocator, resulting in up to 75% reduction in ray tracing memory usage. 6.1 introduces support for compute-driven ray tracing, allowing you to ray trace a huge amount of objects with very little CPU overhead. And now let's take a look at Xbox console and PC development. We know that in those critical moments right before shipping, you may be required to use a newer games development kit for submission, but you may be at a stage where you probably don't wish to upgrade your engine version to do that. Well, we added the ability to change the GDK that the engine uses to build your Xbox console builds, as well as change the version of the GDK your PC builds use to make API calls without upgrading the engine. And not just that. For those that tried to use Xgame Save Files API on the Xbox consoles, but found that it conflicted with player prefs where Xgame Save is used instead, now we enable you to change the Save API player prefs uses so that you can use the Save API of choice that works for your games. And finally, with the new Microsoft GDK packages, we're also enabling you to encrypt your package with a stable key. This is available for Xbox on PC, with Xbox consoles support coming soon. As you can see, we're deeply invested in making sure all of your games run on as many platforms as we can support, so that you may reach the widest audience possible. Laurent will now touch base on how we're optimizing performance on all of these.
Thanks, Marc-André. So, we want to guarantee you can reach the most players on all of those platforms with the best player experience. And this requires reaching the performance you need on the device you target. For those of you who haven't migrated yet, Unity 6.0 released with faster rendering. When the CPU is the bottleneck, GPU resident drawer could get you to the frame rate you need. When the bottleneck is in the pixel shader, features such as the spatial temporal post-processing, or STP, can help. Such features can address the performance needs of stylized games like Harold Halibut from Slowbro. Unity's graphics team worked with them to test several Unity 6.0 features in their production environment, and Harold Halibut launched with visual powered by our brand new lighting and upscaling tech. Now, Unity 6.1 enhances URP with the new Deferred Plus renderer, improving GPU performance with cluster-based light culling and mobile-optimized render passes for better efficiency and battery life. It also introduces variable rate shading, or VRS, for fine control over shading fidelity, supported on Android, PC, Xbox, and PS5 Pro. It ships alongside a new example project to showcase VRS optimizations. Unity introduces faster iteration workflows with new shader configuration settings, reducing shader build times by up to 50% with dynamic branching fog and up to 25% with LOD crossfade dithering stencil mode. Coming soon, MeshLOD streamlines asset optimization with compact, automated LOD generation in editor for both static and skin meshes, minimizing your reliance on external tools. Optimization is sometimes about making it like 100 times faster. Sentis is our tool for on-device local AI model inference. It's great for smaller models that need to run directly on the device. We just released accelerated inference on all Windows DirectX 12 platforms, enabling significantly faster inference, so you can get more models running performantly on more devices. So for example, this depth detection model running on camera frames can now run twice faster on a PC, down from 5 milliseconds to about 2.5 milliseconds. Getting the right performance is also about avoiding bad configurations. Project Auditor ships as an official package in 6.1 and works with all supported versions of Unity. It's a static analysis tool designed to make it easier for you to find and address issues in your Unity project. It analyzes scripts, assets, project settings, and builds, providing clear insights into potential problems. Click the button, and you'll get a structured report highlighting where you can improve, along with guidance on how to resolve issues, making it easier to optimize the quality and performance of your game. We're also working towards bringing some of the same insights into the Unity profiler as well. If you get stuck trying to decide where should you try to reduce your C# memory allocations, or which function are costing you most time across your profiler capture, the summary view highlights the most expensive part of your capture, guiding you towards performance problems and suggesting how to fix them. ECS for Unity, our implementation of the Entity Component System architecture, is getting consolidated with some API in Entities 1.4, including the replacement of Entities for Each, Job with Code, and iAspect. We're still maintaining support between 2022 LTS and 6.0 for now. ECS 1.4 includes optimizations, many fixes, enhanced editor workflows, and expanded documentation. Moving forward, we're also boosting the overall scalability and execution speed of the job system by reducing thread stalls, scheduling overhead, and worker idle time. A new Unity profiler view is also in development to give deeper insights into job dependencies, ECS data flow, and performance bottlenecks. In parallel, we continue our progress with having ECS integrated more seamlessly with game objects to make data-oriented performance accessible to all Unity projects without requiring complex ECS workflows unless needed. We're continuing to modernize our engine foundations with updating .NET to Core CLR. Core CLR is Microsoft's latest and greatest VM for C#, meaning you'll always be at the cutting edge of performance. And by making this upgrade, we also make it easier to adopt the future version of .NET as Microsoft releases them. We are also modernizing Unity's content pipeline and looking a step change in iteration time. Our tech stack can scale to large ambitions, and to verify this, we regularly partner with customers, like how we worked with 10 Chambers to empower them to make Den of Wolves, their upcoming co-op heist FPS game. Getting the right performance on all of those devices is great. The next step is really to polish our engine systems across the board. Marc-André.
Thanks, Laurent. We covered platform support and performance across all sorts of devices. Now it's time to talk about how we're improving the engine's core workflows so you can build the richest and most engaging games. 6.0 already contains a huge amount of great features. There's powerful lighting for dynamic objects with adaptive probe volumes, on-device AI capabilities with Sentis, which enables you to do cool things like realistic cloth deformation at runtime with an ML model we train ourselves, improve workflows thanks to deeper AI integrations like this context-aware chat that understands your project and can carry out instructions for common tasks, and 2D enhancers that allow you to edit and upscale assets directly in the sprite editor window. And of course, lots of quality of life enhancements for productivity across the board, like this asset bundle defaults option. These are the kinds of capabilities that allow great games to go to market. We're really excited about Project Z from 314 Arts. Their team leverages many of the Unity 6 capabilities, such as addressables, SRPs and shader graph, localization, multiplayer hosting, relay, and lobby multiplayer services, to name just a few. So now let's take a look at what's coming next. In our upcoming update releases, our AI assistant is taking productivity to the next level. You will be able to use natural language commands to automate repetitive tasks, scatter objects, rename assets, animate platforms, and much more without manual effort. Chat understands your project context and offers informed answers based on your game objects, components, even Unity documentation. By attaching specific contexts, such as game objects or console errors, you guarantee the AI assistant delivers relevant, actionable solutions. Our AI's ability to generate Unity-ready C# code that's tailored to your needs further reduces time spent debugging, letting you focus on creating. Our generative AI tools are also getting significant upgrades, designed to simplify your workflows and enhance your creative capabilities. Generator workflows now integrate deeply into Unity, making it easier to manage assets in file inspectors and editors without needing extra steps. For animation, we're keeping the familiar text-to-motion feature for biped characters while expanding capabilities with video-to-motion support. Soon, you'll be able to capture nuanced animations simply by recording videos on your smartphone and using those in your prompts. Building upon these advancements, sprites are improving with a comprehensive library of pre-trained LoRa models tailored to specific use cases. Think icons, props, platformer backgrounds, or characters. You also get the flexibility to train your own custom models using various AI foundation models, so you can create bespoke assets aligned to your game's needs. And if sound is what you're looking for, our experimental tool for generating audio clips is about to graduate to production. It'll allow you to produce short game scene soundtracks directly within Unity. As we look ahead, the possibilities continue to expand. Coming later, you'll have access to asset generation for 3D meshes, textures, even skyboxes, giving you the power to create almost any asset needed right when you need it. This efficiency carries into UI design as well. We're advancing UI Toolkit to empower richer UI experiences. Soon you'll be able to render UI directly in world space for immersive XR in gaming environments. Post-processing filters like blur effects or color shift for subsections of your UI are fully integrated with the render chain, ensuring visuals remain sharp at any size or distance. And for customizations, you can modify the UI Uber shader without recreating it, allowing detailed adjustments to text, graphics, and textures through familiar shader graph workflows. To make your design scalable and optimized, vector graphics will offer resolution-independent, high-performance assets that remain sharp across devices from mobile screens to high-res displays. And will extend accessibility capabilities to the desktop and integrating screen reader support into UI Toolkit, so your games can reach visually impaired players with less effort on your part. Coming soon as a preview in Unity 6.x, our new animation system. Your animations are getting a major boost with tools that save time and engineering resources during production. Procedural and runtime rigging now works for all skeletal asset types, not just characters. You'll be able to remap animations across assets, even if their size, hierarchy, or proportions differ, drastically reducing your need for custom clips. Additionally, features like per-bone masking and flexible attachment sockets make managing animations with varying equipment or characters much easier. The new and improved hierarchical state machine is built to handle thousands of states, blend graphs, and transitions while maintaining impressive performance, even with large-scale scenes populated by hundreds or thousands of characters and events. On the right, you can see a quick test of 1,000 knights and 40,000 arrows running on this new system with 30 frames per second in the editor. And speaking of performance, our physics tools are evolving to support every type of project. In 6.0, you can already choose between Havoc or Unity Physics for ECS, or stick with built-in physics for game object-centric projects. Swappable backend will expand these options, making it easier to integrate with third-party engines like PhysX5, Mujoko, or Bullet. Unity Physics itself is getting upgraded with new solvers and tooling that enable more complex and reliable physics behaviors. Looking further ahead, we're crafting experimental features like a vehicle character controller for ECS projects, compatible with Havoc and Unity Physics, to unlock even more advanced gameplay possibilities. All these development efficiencies extend to your CI/CD pipelines as well. In 6.1, Unity Build Automation is now integrated directly in the editor, accelerating iteration circles with cloud builds for the platforms listed here. We're also working on improving collaboration between developers, artists, or anyone on your team. Soon, you'll be able to edit files and projects locally, while revisions are synced automatically to the cloud, keeping teams aligned while easing developer workflows, wherever your files may be, in the editor or in the cloud, the hub, wherever it makes sense for you.
Thank you, Marc-André. We talked about how we give you the control you need to get the best titles to all of those platforms. But shipping is not the end game, pun intended. This is a topic that is dear to my heart. You need to run games for years to maximize your success. And we're taking more steps in pre-integrating live games features to make it easier for you to do so. In Unity 6.0, we've really made the engine a first-class multiplayer. And to us, it meant bringing together all of the capabilities you need for a multiplayer game into a seamless end-to-end workflow. To start, Multiplayer Center provides streamlined guidance to onboard you into multiplayer development by providing access to the tools and services for your project's specific needs. You simply answer a few questions about your project. You start with genre and player count, and that's enough to get a first recommendation. And you can then refine this with gameplay pace, preventing cheating importance, cost sensitivity, netcode architecture. You can then automatically install the packages you need, like netcodes, multiplayer services, communication services, and you can experiment with those features throughout game production quickly thanks to pre-assembled features we call widgets. Multiplayer play mode is another amazing workflow of 6.0. You can validate and test your gameplay using real conditions thanks to spawning up to 4 independent light editor processes without leaving the Unity editor, without code. And it supports custom steps such as deployment to multiplayer hosting or your own solution. We included distributed authority as a beta in Unity 6.0 to support the creation of resilient and cost-efficient client-hosted games using netcode for game objects. This is a new network topology that shares authority across all clients, providing low complexity with no servers or configuration, enabling larger simulation, higher player count, and supporting host migration by default. With both netcode for game object or netcode for entities, you have a choice of frameworks designed to reduce the complexity of building a network gameplay. When coupled with multiplayer hosting, you get a game server hosting that provides the performance you need to deliver consistent gameplay to let your players play whenever they want, whenever they are. We included a unified session management solution for connecting players together before, during, and after the game. This includes most of the Unity services for easy development, minimal code writing needed. You can authenticate users across platform, either anonymously or platform-specific, with a state-of-the-art matchmaking and lobby to boost player engagement. And we started integrating Vivox voice chat and Vivox text chat, so you can build communities with a scalable and cost-friendly service that connects your players across platforms. This is the sort of integration that speeds up so much the work to bring together a game like Degenheim from Hyra Studio. They started out with a mix of solutions of third-party assets, but ultimately opted to use the complete multiplayer ecosystem that's already pre-integrated in Unity 6.0. And it's a long list. Netcode, multiplayer hosting, authentication, matchmaker, analytics, remote config, cloud save, version control. If you watched the last Unite keynote, you might remember the Strawberry Man on stage. That was actually fantastic. Milan explained that as an indie startup, this unlocks big studio possibilities and abstract away the complexity, allowing them to focus on what they love, the game itself. And this means, to us, that we need to continue that work further. Along this line, the feedback we've got about Multiplayer Center is that it could be so much more powerful if it included some elements of gameplay and coverage into the live ops space. This is why we're working at turning it into something greater, Project Center. Imagine a development experience where, through Project Center, you can accelerate prototyping and pre-production by having a curated set of production-proven first-party and third-party assets, features, and services from the entire Unity ecosystem recommended to you. Not only that, by having Project Center guide you through experimenting with the most relevant solutions. Everything you need is conveniently surfaced within your workflow. Similarly to the concept of multiplayer widgets, instead of constantly reinventing the wheel, you can use Unity's ready-to-use building blocks for your core gameplay loop, multiplayer service, and live operation services to experiment, iterate, and bring your ideas to life. You can assemble in minutes early versions of games meant to live for many years. For multiplayer creation, our immediate next step are about consolidating the Unity 6.0 stack. Distributed authority for netcode for game object is now fully released. And we are at work on a host migration service for netcode for entities. Once we get there, will have good client-hosted support regardless of your netcode choices. We're also improving our matchmaker integrations, adding a widget for it. But something I'm pretty excited about is our progress with guaranteeing burst determinism across CPU architecture. That would unlock all of the situations for which you want to build a custom netcode stack with cross-CPU architecture deterministic requirements for demanding genres, such as fighting games, sport games, or RTS. That's pretty cool. Regarding our deployment workflows, we're working at fully supporting deployment to ARM64 game servers to give you cheaper options for running headless Unity runtimes as a dedicated server, whether that's with multiplayer or your own stack. We're making it simpler to test multiplayer hosting locally and allowing you to use multiplayer play mode directly on Android devices. And this is only the short term. Our longer-term target is to converge the various netcode stack and expand our netcode architecture to more game genres with deterministic lockstep, so you don't have to rely on custom netcodes for this anymore. Creating multiplayer games is becoming easier, and Unity is making operating them a breeze too. Unity 6.0 integrates those two cutting-edge multiplayer services that powers some of the biggest titles on the market. Multiplayer game server hosting is expanding its self-serve offering with improved observability, DDoS protection, and we're making it easier than ever to interoperate with other Unity services through session extensibility. Even better, we're extending game server hosting to support web games. Vivox is also evolving with more investment in audio quality, improvements, easier integration path for third-party audio engines, lip syncing, and more. We also provide a new API to help you manage text channels within your game. A live title is also about optimizing your game in real time. The Unity LiveOps ecosystem is being more deeply integrated in the engine to push even further the concept of end-to-end live game support. Our Cloud Save and Cloud Code services are being improved so you can structure your game backend more efficiently. And we're working at bringing together all of our services behind a unified release workflow to make it simpler to ship any new live content to your players. And finally, we're investing in building better real-time analytics that brings together the best data from all of the Unity services so you can make data-driven decisions about your game and players' experiences. We want to provide you with market insights, including performance, retention, engagement, and in-app purchase benchmarking. With such a fast evolution of Unity Engine to support end-to-end live games, we expect to see so many more of your games going to market in successful ways. We can't wait to play the titles that are already being built on Unity 6, like Silica from Bohemia Interactive. So, to recap, we are doubling down on our platform partnerships to continue giving you access to the widest audience in gaming. We're staying focused on maximizing the performance you get and you can achieve on all of those devices. We're updating the engine across the board with more powerful features. We're evolving Unity Engine to truly embrace the lifecycle of live games. And we are doing all of this with production verification in mind at each step of the way. With this, we would like to close this session with another call to action for us to have a conversation about our roadmap on discussion. Unity 6.1 beta is already available, and we're impatient to see what you make with Unity 6. Thank you for your time.